Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Shruti Mishra. These are the top headlines from the startup space. The Supreme Court transfers to itself 27 pleas challenging the 28% GST imposition on real money gaming. These pleas are pending across 9 high courts. The Chief Justice of India said that it would be better for the Supreme Court to hear the case and deliver an authoritative ruling. Court likely to hear the batch of pleas on the 1st of May. RBI proposes to permit third-party UPI apps to make payments and cash deposits at cash deposit machines using UPI. It also allows UPI payments through prepaid payment instruments, wallets. RBI governor said that this measure will further enhance customer convenience and make the currency handling process at banks more efficient. Homegrown social gaming startup Winzo Games posted an operating profit of 120 crore rupees in FY23, according to MCA filings. Winzo's revenue grew 182% from 242 crore rupees in FY22 to 687 crore rupees in FY23. Centre Court Capital sets up 350 crore rupees fund focused on India's sports and gaming landscape. JSW Steel Managing Director Sajjan Jindal's family trust joins as the anchor investor for venture firm. Tech giant Apple lays off 600 employees across its self-driving car and smartwatch screen projects. Bloomberg reports that 371 employees were fired at Apple's main car-related office in Santa Clara, California, while dozens more at multiple satellite offices were also impacted. Both projects were scrapped earlier this year. Well, those were the headlines that we are tracking from the startup world. The top story today: Supreme Court has transferred to itself 27 pleas challenging the 28% GST imposition on real money gaming. These pleas have been pending across 9 high courts. Ashmit Kumar joins us with more on this. Ashmit, what are you picking up?
Issue surfaces once again, the issue of GST levy as far as the betting amount is concerned. Today, the latest development, we saw as many as 27 applications that have been now moved from the high courts. As many as 9 high courts have been moved to the apex court. This transfer petition had been filed by the centre. It is on the centre's backing that 27 fresh cases on the issue of gaming have now been moved to the apex court. CJI-led bench was the one hearing this matter. What's also important is indication, guidance on the way forward. The initial understanding was that on May 3rd, the arguments will be heard in this case once again. That has been confirmed by the bench today. The bench confirming that for early first half of May is when these batch of matters will be heard, led by the Games Craft matter. Again, just for giving our viewers some perspective, it is in September that the centre had moved the apex court against the Karnataka High Court order, which had granted Games Craft relief from the 21,000 crore rupee GST show cause notice. The concern that has been raised, however, by the gaming companies is that this completely skews the entire paradigm as far as operations are concerned. Let's bear in mind that as per the Finance Ministry, as many as 71 notices have been sent out, show cause notices that add up to over 1 lakh crore rupees. So very large numbers we're talking here. We understand that from what fell from the apex court, May or 1st of May is when these matters will begin hearing in the apex court. So clearly, all eyes now on the top court, especially as far as the gaming industry is concerned.
All right, Ashmit, thank you for those details. Appreciate you joining us. Moving on, artificial intelligence platform for sales SiftHub has raised $5.5 million in a seed round of funding led by Matrix Partners India and Blume Ventures with participation from Neon Fund. Several angel investors also participated in this round. SiftHub claims it is revolutionizing how sales and pre-sales team discover up-to-date information and generate accurate responses. So no more "I will get back to you" that could lead to a lost opportunity.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. So over 2 decades of experience which I've had working with enterprises, building a startup and scaling the startup, we have seen, especially in the last decade, the number of apps and tools which any company uses is massively growing. And because of that, the knowledge is spread across multiple applications and multiple tools. So if clients ask you a question, you have to actually sift through multiple tools to give an accurate answer. And this has become a big pain point. That's how we decided to solve this for sales and pre-sales team and help them find answers in, seconds instead of hours.
Okay. Manisha, if you could elaborate on SiftHub's tech edge, how does it deliver secure, private and access controlled answers that also trace back to the source? So while you're helping companies generate personalized responses, tell us how you ensure transparency and reduce risk. If you could share a use case.
Sure. So, ChatGPT was launched around 18 months back,
Yes.
right? And we saw the adoption of ChatGPT in 2 months. It reached 200 million users. Still till today, people, general people, professionals are not really comfortable in using ChatGPT or any other open tools with their company information. What we are doing is we are using these open source LLMs, training and fine tuning open source LLMs on industry specific data,
Okay.
and combined with RAG technology, we are ensuring that the responses which we give are always grounded in companies' knowledge. One very important thing is you can't tell a salesperson or give a response which is generally available on the internet, because that might break your customer's trust.
Yeah.
That's how we are able to achieve, rigid access control and no hallucinations, basically.
All right. So SiftHub empowers sales and pre-sales teams to improve win rates and close deals faster. But Manisha, if you could give us a sense of the kind of efficiency that you bring in, is there a percentage that you can share?
Sure, absolutely. So if you see, whenever a company sells to other businesses, especially when the business is mid-market or enterprises, the sales cycle can last from a month to a year, depending on how big the deal is. Now, in this entire life cycle, there are multiple stages where customers keep on asking questions. Sometimes the questions are in the form of email, like you get a bunch of questions on email. Sometimes they ask you questions on call. Sometimes they send you InfoSec questionnaires, which has 100, 150 questions. And then they send you RFPs, which has 500 to 800 questions.
Okay.
So along this entire life cycle, we are helping them with workflow automation and getting the responses for all 200 questions in one go, rather than keeping on looking on, different screens, all tabbing, pinging people on Slack or Microsoft Teams to try to get an accurate answer. So we are looking at around 70-80%
Okay.
productivity gains when it comes to generating responses.
All right, that's a big number. But Manisha, if you could now talk to us about your clients, who are they? And also share specific use cases across industries.
Sure. So before, we finalized this idea, we actually spoke to 200 people. And the problem was really strong when we spoke to these people. Out of those, 100 were sales leaders. And we are working with a bunch of companies who are growing really fast and are in growth stage. So we just launched our platform actually 2 months back. And we have already converted our interviews into our early adopters and building and scaling the platform with them.
Okay.
One simple example of a use case would be, let's say, if you are selling a SaaS product. Now, customer is asking you, when did you do your ISO certification? Would salesperson really have an answer to that? And the answer which salesperson currently gives is, I will get back to you. We want to eliminate, I will get back to you. The salesperson can just type the question on our platform, and we ensure that they get the right response in seconds.
Okay, Manisha, there is tremendous potential and competition in the sector that you're in. So how are you looking to capture a larger share of the $280 billion Gen AI revenue market? Where do you see the next leg of growth coming from?
So the journey has just started and we are very excited. The team is amazing. The kind of team we have built. Actually, we have a lot of ex-founders who are, leading their own functions. It is a big market, and this 280 billion Gen AI market is actually the new market which has been created in last 18 months, right? Before this, the productivity market was only $60 billion. Now we can say only 60 billion because 250 billion is a large number. So this use case, actually, this tool can be used in multiple industries, right from your medical equipment manufacturing companies to insurance companies to mutual funds industries. Because in all these industries, there is a plethora of information which is available, and sales and pre-sales teams cannot memorize all the ins and outs of any product or service.
Absolutely. One final question before I let you go. Manisha, you are a seasoned SaaS entrepreneur and earlier co-founded a leading logistics SaaS platform, Loginext. What are lessons learned and what's SaaS going to look like 10 years from now, if you could quickly answer that?
The biggest, I'm bringing in a lot of learnings, and I want to continue what actually I did at Loginext, what I said. But couple of things this time, I spoke to 200 people before actually designing the product or writing the first line of the code, and that has given us a lot more confidence in terms of this is the right problem statement we are solving. And hiring early, senior people early on. That's how we have a bunch of ex-founders who either sold their companies or got equity.
All right, Nisha, we've run out of time. Many thanks for joining us on Safety today and for all your good plans.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Continuing with our focus on artificial intelligence, on Hot Seat today, we put the spotlight on Mazdo. Founded in 2020, the venture claims it is India's first startup building foundational AI models for autonomous driving, delivered as an industry-first intelligent platform to automotive OEMs, enabling autopilot and self-driving capabilities for next-gen vehicles. Having demonstrated its autonomous concept vehicle, the Z-Pod, last year, Minus Zero is backed by Chirate Ventures and other leading investors. To talk to us about the road ahead, joining me now is Gursimran Kalra, the co-founder and COO of Minus Zero. Gursimran, welcome to Startup Street. You say you are a pioneering nature-inspired AI. First, tell us what you mean by that, and then if you could also talk to us about Minus Zero's innovations and the various use cases they have.
Hey, thanks for having me. So talking about nature-inspired AI, so basically it's a completely paradigm shift over here in AI that we are seeing. So in simple words, we are trying to take inspiration from human brain to design our artificial intelligence systems. So just to give you some more parallel and insights into it, right now, whatever AI that we are seeing in the world used at scale, or whatever the chat GPTs and everything that you're seeing right now, you've seen they are very human-like and they talk to you in a very human-like manner. It's just that they have been trained on large amounts of data that they have collected, that the companies have collected over a long period of time, and it just has crammed it so beautifully that it is able to give you answers and reasoning and everything in a human-like manner. But if you go in deeper into it, you will understand that it does not have any intelligence of its own. Plus, it requires a lot of computing power to actually make it run very efficiently. So on the other hand, as humans, we do not require entire internet of data just to talk to you properly, right? And we do not have like billions and billions of dollars spent in our compute server or in the brain that we have to actually work and process, right? We have a very small computing power, that's our brain, and very small amount of data that we get over our experience that we actually process. So that's what nature-inspired AI tries to do, learning from limited amount of data and limited amount of computing power to make it more intelligent. So that's what we are doing.
Gursimran, let's now talk about your autonomous driving concept vehicle, the Z-Pod or the Z-Pod that you've demonstrated in June last year. It showed full autonomy in a campus-like environment using only cameras. What is the biggest pain point that it solves, and what kind of partnerships are you eyeing for this technology? Are you in talks with educational campuses?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the Z-Pod that we show was a great concept to showcase about the vision of how we imagine the mobility could be in the future. It makes mobility more efficient, more safer, more sustainable, and accessible to everyone and everywhere in the world. So that's the dream that we have and the vision that we have with Z-Pod that we showcased. Now, talking about partnerships. So we are not directly manufacturing these Z-Pods in-house over here at Minus Zero. We are basically giving this as a technology platform, which all the other automakers, established automakers, can introduce into their vehicles. So that's what we are doing right now.
All right, so let's also talk about your recent alliance with Ashok Leyland. The long-term partnership aims to revolutionize commercial trucking through the deployment of autonomous solutions at scale. If you could elaborate on what this collaboration entails, what is the initial focus, and then the larger vision?
Yeah, sure. So basically, if you see this larger vision, I'm really happy to see the legacy automakers are partnering with innovative startups like us to carry forward the innovation. So the larger picture of this partnership is to actually start deploying autonomous vehicles in multiple different areas, starting initially from constrained environments like campuses, airports, seaports, corporate tech parks, and all of these different campuses, and eventually moving on to public roads as well in the areas where there are proper regulations laid down for that. So this is a very holistic partnership that we are laying down with one of the legacy automakers, and
Sure.
we hope that we take it forward from here.
Okay, Gursimran, can you also throw some light on the long-term R&D costs associated with this kind of a project?
Interesting. So if you see autonomous vehicle as a whole industry, you'll see that this is one of the largest industries who have seen the largest amount of R&D capital investment into it. So companies have spent close to $100 billion into R&D of building autonomous driving. But essentially what we are trying to do is, completely re-innovate the entire system using our nature-inspired AI. And we believe that this should not be the given cost of entering into solving such a gigantic problem statement. So
Okay.
once a founder told me that, if you cannot build a deep tech or research-based business in less than $100 million, so you don't know what your product is, or you don't know what the technology is. I
All right.
think
Okay. With global regulations and infrastructure evolving to support autonomous driving, Gursimran, will this collaboration extend to offer joint production offerings, joint product offerings to international markets? If yes, then how soon and in which markets?
yes, sure. That's definitely a possibility on the table that we are looking at it. But how soon and which market should be, I don't think I'll be able to comment on right now. But there are multiple different markets that are coming up with very progressive regulations in multiple different countries, and I believe that the world is actually moving at a very right pace to adopt these vehicles. So we will target some of these markets who have progressive regulations in them.
Okay, let's talk about your future plans. I believe you want to focus on